Today we're going to read Dog Breath, The Horrible Trouble with Halitosis by Dave Pilkey. Hold your nose, because here comes the dog with the worst breath in the world. There was once a dog named Hallie who lived with the Tosis family. Halitosis was a very good dog, but she had a big problem. Halitosis had horrible breath. Whenever Halitosis opened her mouth, horrible things happened. I just love how this author, Dave Pilkey, uses both the illustrations and the words to tell a funny story. When the children took Halitosis for a walk, everyone else walked on the other side of the street. Even skunks avoided Halitosis. I wonder why the author chose to use the skunk. Skunks are notoriously smelly. Maybe the fact that the skunk, a smelly animal, is avoiding Hallie just tells you how smelly Hallie is. But the real trouble started one day when Grandma Tosis stopped by for a cup of tea, and Hallie jumped up to say hello. Grandma is surprised. Mr. and Mrs. Tosis were not amused. Something has to be done about that smelly dog, they said. The next day, Mr. and Mrs. Tosis decided to find a new home for Hallie. Free dog to a good home. The children knew that the only way they could save their dog was to get rid of her bad breath, so they took Halitosis to the top of a mountain that had a breathtaking view. Oh, look at this picture. So they're walking Hallie, and there's a sign on the tree, wanted for burglary. I wonder if that has anything to do with the story. They hoped that the breathtaking view would take Hallie's breath away. Breathtaking view, but it didn't. I wonder why the author uses the word breathtaking. Interesting. Next, the children took Halitosis to a very exciting movie. They hoped that all the excitement would leave Hallie breathless. But it didn't. Finally, the children took Halitosis to a carnival. They hoped that Hallie would lose her breath on the speedy roller coaster. You will lose your breath on our roller coaster. Ah! There's Hallie. The kids can't escape Hallie's breath. Not sure that's working. But that idea stunk too. You know what? I get it. I get what the author's doing. This author loves to use words both figuratively and literally. It's a very fun style of writing. The plans to change Hallie's bad breath had failed. Now only a miracle could save Halitosis. Sadly, the three friends said goodnight, unaware that a miracle was just on the horizon. Later that night, when everyone was sound asleep, two sneaky burglars crept into the Tosis house. The two burglars were tiptoeing through the dark, quiet rooms when suddenly they came upon Halitosis. "Yikes!" whispered one burglar. "It's a big, mean, scary dog." "Ah, don't be silly," whispered the other burglar. "That's only a cute little fuzzy puppy." The two burglars giggled at the sight of such a friendly little dog. "That dog couldn't hurt a fly," whispered one burglar. "Come here, Poochie Poochie," whispered the other. So Halitosis came over and gave the burglars a nice big kiss. Slurp! Oh no! I wonder what's going to happen next. Yikes. The next morning, the Tosis family awoke to find two burglars passed out cold on their living room floor. Remember the wanted sign on the tree? Was that kind of a clue in the book that would lead us to this moment when these two burglars were actually caught by Haley and his horrible, terrible breath? It was a miracle. It was a miracle. The Tosis family got a big reward for turning in the crooks, and soon Halitosis was the most famous crime-fighting dog in the country. In the end, Mr. and Mrs. Tosis changed their minds about finding a new home for Hallie. They decided to keep their wonderful watchdog after all. Because life without halitosis just wouldn't make any sense. What a great book.